In this video series, we share a relatively rare insight into the practice of private readings in evidential mediumship, which differ fundamentally from the more widely known public demonstrations, of course. All the sitters agreed willingly to the publication of the readings, since they are all part of the spiritual community and understand the benefits of sharing and giving. Hence, it doesn't come as a surprise that a lot of the information in the readings gear around that topic. To understand the depth of the process, you would have to feel into the presence and into the matter of the subject, which is closely related to each and everyone's heart. And of course, you would have to watch the videos from the beginning to the end. Enjoy. There we go. So please give me a few seconds. But I feel that there's a lady coming close, and I know that this lady, during the course of their lifetime, she was gaining and losing weight, and I feel not only once. It happened. It was something like a pattern. She gained and she lost. She gained and she lost. Again and again. So not just once. And I feel that there was. Right. I feel that this had to do not necessarily only with dietary issues, but very much so also with a medical condition that she was subjected to. There were some. I feel that she had to take some medicines, and I also feel that she had to go to the doctors regarding that condition for quite a while. It had to do something with the glands, the glandulars, at somewhere in the body that were somehow affecting the way her body worked strongly. Would you understand that so far?
I can't picture that person at the moment.
I can't picture the person at the moment. Let me get more. If I look at her, she has a little bit. She looks at me with strong features. I have to say, right? She's very strong features, strong eyes. I see strong eyes looking at me, and I feel that this is a grandmother of yours.
Yes, I feel as though that it's starting to feel like my grandmother.
Your grandmother, right? And she's telling me that she knew you very well. She knew you very well.
Yes.
She told me that you spent many summers together.
Yes, I did indeed.
The summers were somehow important, right? And these were actually very happy times in her life. And also in your life, I feel that there is I know that your grandmother was a little bit a toughie, right? Right? Was a little bit a toughie, so to speak.
Yes.
But I also feel that there was a lot of care and honest concern about you. Not concern, honest interest in you. That's a better word.
Yes.
honest interest in you, and she really only wanted to do the best that she could for you, for your upbringing, and for
Yes.
your and for you as a person. I know that she made you she made you do things. She made you work in the house. She made you do things in the house. You
Yes.
remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And And she was very picky on that, right? She's very picky, right? She told you exactly how to do and you had to do it, and if it wouldn't work, she would she would show it again and tell you again until you did it according to her the way
Yes.
she thought it was right. She said that was a very she thought that this is a good education for you, not only that you learn specific tasks in your life that she deemed important for women, right? But
Yeah.
also that you learned how to um, how to be clear in achieving a goal and in doing something, right?
Yeah.
Clarity. That was very important for her. Clarity in the action, more than mental clarity, because I feel mental clarity was nothing that she cared about. This was something normal for her, right? She didn't even think about it. But
Okay.
she was a person that was very clear when she spoke, not how she spoke, but how she expressed herself and what she expressed. Everything had to be very clear, everything had to be very straight, and also everything that she did had to be very clear. She's showing me a round table, not a big one, like a smaller table that you have on the sideline with a cloth above it, and a white cloth with some patterns in it. Can you
Mm-hmm.
recognize that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it was for her, for example, that is an example that she brings, and it was of utter importance how the cloth is laid out on the table. It cannot be this way or that way, or
Yeah.
like that. It must be perfect, right?
That's right.
Now, that's the kind of lady that she was, and that is something that she conveyed into your education on her behalf very well as well. And also, I feel that she liked birds. Would you
Yeah.
understand that she liked birds? I think she
Yes.
should. She's small, so, and I'm very much drawn to smaller birds. Like I'm not aware of the English names for them, unfortunately. But
Yes.
I know
Yes.
this is these smaller birds that come to the gardens and fly around. And she gave them food. She put
Yeah.
food out there for them,
Yes.
and either I think she laid it out somewhere, right? She laid out the food somewhere for these
Yes.
small birds so they could pick it. You understand that, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
she loved them very much. And she loved animals in general, but I don't feel that she had a pet, a dog or something. I don't see that
No.
around. There wasn't something like that. And the reason why she didn't have one is because that would somehow alter her high sense of order in the
Oh,
house.
right.
Right, that was
Yes.
something why she didn't because you know that she liked pets and you know that also she liked also dogs. She's showing me when you were walking around, she expressed a liking to the dogs. You
Mm-hmm.
understand that, right? But she never had one, not necessarily for the work, but because the dog is not as exact as she liked to be. Right. Okay. And with her husband, she was the same. She expected him to be totally correct, on time, clean, and she expected him to behave properly. And and he did. Well, he did, right? He didn't actually. She showed me that he didn't dare to do anything else, right? But also I feel that they had a very good relationship. There was a strong bond of um, of trust beneath them. a
Yes.
strong bond of trust beneath them. Her husband, your grandfather, had some kind of a heavy problem at the end of his life, and she was helping and supporting him.
Right. Okay. Good.
Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel here as well, we have something with a health issue, but the health issue was related, or it had the facet of also a financial issue.
I can't think of a financial issue.
You can't think of a financial issue at the end of their lives.
No.
Well, let's see what you mean.
Unless
You would
I'm
understand.
just not aware of it.
Yeah, you would understand that your grandfather. I feel also that there was something building up in his body, in his torso, and that was he also had I feel that there must be a swollen torso, a swollen stomach for your grandfather. Would you know about
Um,
that?
I don't know about a swollen stomach. It obviously passed with. Do you want me to tell you what he passed with?
No, 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 not yet. Afterwards,
Okay.
but there must have been some condition that affected his interior and his inner organs here strongly.
Right.
Would you understand that?
I don't, but they might not have shared that with me.
I feel that strongly, and I also feel he underwent treatment, just as treatment. He underwent treatment, and I feel that there must have been some financial issues regarding that treatment. Uh, Maybe you can find that out
Yes,
one
I
day.
can. Yes, I can.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, you can. She's bringing that clearly to my attention. Actually, but she wore that very well. She wore that strong situation very well, right? She kept herself straight. She did the best that she could. She helped your father, and she also had to help herself, of course, in that
Mhm.
situation. But she never broke down or wept or something like that. She didn't show that kind of affection. She didn't show that. She's telling me. But it still was very hard on her, but she kept that to herself.
Yeah.
She, she kept these things to herself. Would you understand at the funeral of of her husband, of your grandfather, not her own funeral.
Yeah.
At the funeral, people talked about her in that sense that how well she's carrying that burden, how well she's doing in that sad and hard situation.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where are you?
She was a strong woman.
Good. Are you aware that people were acknowledging that during the funeral?
Yes, I think so. Yes, I remember.
Right. Great. Thank you. And that is something that actually she took pride in, of course, also, okay? She also took pride in being this kind of a person. Going back in life, going back a little bit, uh, uh, going back in time, she's showing me, she's showing me, they went regularly to holidays, she and her husband. Right. There were holidays spent with you together, and there were holidays spent without you. Right.
Yes.
Both of these they did. And she's showing me a scenario. I don't know exactly where it is, but it looks like some mountains that have a high cliffs upwards and wide cliffs somewhere.
Right. Okay.
Somewhere white cliffs. Um, I feel it's near the sea. I feel it's near the sea. Do you have any idea where that is? No.
I feel as though I know where it is, but I don't feel as though that I've been there with my grandparents.
I don't know if you were there. She's showing me that now as
Uh,
not necessarily with you there. That's not what I mean. But she was there with her husband.
okay.
So somewhere at the sea, where there is these high cliffs of a whitish color, or
Right.
somewhere. Um, and that's also something that she enjoyed very much. The holiday that you and her went together, I feel that there must have been some smaller village where you went not frequently but several times for holidays. You and
Uh,
her and together.
not multiple times, no.
But not only once.
Yeah,
Not only once. Several times.
not several,
Only once.
a couple, maybe it's two.
Okay, two, right? So a smaller village, right? So
Yeah.
where you went. Okay, two. Okay, at least not once. And that's what I felt. And I feel that there was at this village. Would you understand that you were engaged in something like ponies or horses or something like that at the edge of the village?
Uh, have been, but not on holiday with her. No.
Not on holidays with her, but you have been
Yeah.
engaged in
Yes,
with
I have.
ponies,
Yes.
smaller, not big horses, actually smaller horses.
Yeah.
Okay, and she was she watched that. She was there present as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was not on that. It was not on holidays. But okay,
Yeah.
right. Um, and that was also something that she enjoyed very, very much. Seeing you there, and I feel that you have been riding the ponies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing you there riding the pony made her also very, very happy because she knew that you were very happy, and she also knew that this is an activity that is extremely beneficial for young girls from all kind of angles that we
Yes.
don't have to discuss about it now, right? And I feel also that okay, you say it must not have been far away because I feel that she took you by the hand and you walked there.
Yes, I can walk. I could walk there.
You
Yes.
could walk there. It mustn't been
Yes.
far away from where you
Yes.
lived, right?
Yeah.
Good. So she basically wanted to share some also of the beautiful times that you two spent together. And um, now she wishes to talk about your husband, right?
Yes.
Your husband as well, at the very moment, is undergoing a critical phase or something that is not so easy for him.
Right. Okay. Yes.
And she's looking at you and she's very proud of you,
Thank you.
the way you handle the situation. Just as she handled her situation, you handle your situation, and she's very proud of you.
Thank you.
She understands that it's not so easy. She wants to bring to your attention there will be a positive change, but the change will not bring back the how it was prior to that, right? This is
Okay.
this is not possible. And she says she can tell you that because you actually already are aware of that,
Right. Okay.
according to the situation. But there will be a positive change is upcoming, right?
Good. Thank
Good.
you.
And this is your grandmother on the fatherly side, right?
Yes.
Because she's bringing to my attention that her son is also there, your
Yes, he
father,
is.
right?
He is, yes.
And she wants to assure you all their support, the support of all of them, not only them two, but I just them two are now brought to my personal attention, but I can feel and see behind them, or not behind them, with them together, quite a few people, all of them supporting you, all of them being with you during this time at the very moment, especially at the very moment, the situation we were talking about, right? This
Thank
is
you.
what they're referring to, and they want you, right, they want you to relax as much as possible, right? They
Yes.
understand it is difficult, but they want you to relax as much as possible and think back about all the beautiful times that you had, also about all the natural occurring in life, natural occurring difficulties that you had and that you overcame, and that you had a good life, and that you have a good life. You had and
Yes.
you have a good life. You did well, both of you, right? You and your husband, you did well.
Yeah.
And this is something that you have to treasure, because you might think that you might take that for granted, but if you just look to the right and left, you understand, you can understand this is not to be taken for granted. This is to
Yes.
be taken uh, as a result of the right actions done and
Right.
the right intentions in life. And this is what they want to bring to you, that you can be not only proud of yourself for that situation that you are in, but for the whole life. And then that this situation right now is just a part of a whole life stream, and it's something occurring natural, and you should um, not let yourself down too much by that. And that's exactly why she brought in her situation with her husband, and then beautiful memories from her life to show
Mm-hmm.
you that, yes, to show you that this helped her
Mm-hmm.
to cope with their situation.
Right. Thank you.
The holding on to the memories, because that brought back the energy, right? The inner power of
Yes.
that moment, right? That is
Right.
still
Okay.
in our energy. And your your father also was a very tough man. I feel, right. He was
Sometimes he pretended to be tough.
okay. All right. If I look at his features, also I feel he had a strong. He was strong physically, and also his face was more square than mine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel also that, yes, he had the attitude sometimes of being a little bit loud. He was not a little loud like this, right? He played that out, and sometimes he says he didn't really lose his temper. It was just the way that he acted, and he had to he had to let it out. And oh yeah, yeah, that is something that his mother, your grandmother, did not necessarily approve too much, but but that was something that he didn't listen to her in that respect too much, and he didn't want to listen to her in that respect because he felt right the way he was, and I also feel that in his work, in his business life, his work life, he was very capable. He was very
Yes.
capable, and I feel that he had to do something with his hands. And I
Yes.
feel especially the left hand must have been engaged strongly in his work. I don't know, would you understand the left hand especially?
I wouldn't know specifically which hand. I would imagine it was
Okay, maybe
both.
it's just one hand, but I feel that both have, but he worked with his hands, and he
Yeah.
was very capable, and also he was very cautious what he did. He had to be cautious. He did. I feel that there were several facets of his work um, involved, um, where he had to be cautious. I'm getting the word scaffolding. Would you understand that he was engaged in scaffolding?
No, he wasn't.
No, but would you understand that his work had to do something like this with loosely related to construction work?
Actually, one job he had, maybe he was on scaffolding and he wasn't very good at it.
He was very good at that. So you see, okay, that's funny. Right. But he was producing something. He was producing something with his hand.
He has
Would
done in a
you?
few jobs. He has done in a few jobs. He's changed his career a few times.
Oh, he changed his career. Right. Okay. So because I feel that he has produced something and he's showing me tools. Either he produced tools or he was working with tools, like whatever kind of tools, hammer, stuff like that.
Yeah, he would have been using tools he would have been using in one of the jobs, yes.
In one of the jobs. Okay. So, right. And he enjoyed his family. Yeah. He enjoyed his family life with you people so much, but he
Loved
all
us.
he loved, yes, 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 yes. But he also enjoyed to go out and have a break from the family life from time to time. And you know that he had his times off. And I feel he wasn't alone there. I feel he met something like his buddies or something, his friends. And that was also a very important part of his life to to meet with friends and to get away from the family and the job and the work. But he had a special seat or something in the house where he sat down. That was his seat,
He
and he
did.
enjoyed. It was a big, like an armchair, right? Not just a seat. An armchair
Yes,
where it was his armchair. There we sat down. Yeah, I
that's
feel.
right.
I feel he would cross his legs, watch the family, and just be
Mhm.
happy. Right?
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Right? Just be happy. Good, good,
Yes.
good. He didn't have to. He didn't have to exert his authority in the family too much because it was accepted.
Mhm.
So he
Yes.
didn't he didn't have to say too much because he felt that his authority was accepted and what he said and what he wished would have been done without
Mhm.
him being having to be too pushy. And his temper was his temper. It had nothing to do with that, right? His temper was his temper, right? And when they were younger, and him and your mother, they very much liked to go to the cinema.
Yes, we did. What they did as well.
I mean,
We
you
did
as
as
well.
a
You
family
show me
as well.
cinema. With some,
Yes.
okay, you all like to go to the cinema, but he showed me especially, he showed me that okay, when he was younger, when and there was prior to the family life with your mother, they went to the cinema together. Oh,
Yeah.
and with you as well. So he brought that habit of enjoying life into his family life, right? So your father is here as well, and he has the same he doesn't have a different message than his own mother. They're here to support you. They're here to back you up at your current phase in life, and they want to assure you. They want to assure you that despite the difficulties at the very moment,
Hmm.
there's a lot of beauty and a lot to live for ahead of your life.
Good.
Right? That's also very important for you to understand. You will have your ups and downs, right? But if you have your downs, remember them, telling you there's a lot to come for you regarding happiness, regarding beauty, and also the contentment, the inner contentment to have overcome successfully exactly the difficulties. Because this brings a certain kind of inner strength, contentment, which adds to the feeling of happiness and is very necessary for everyone. And this is simply life. And I want you to understand that again, that they are very much content and happy
Thank
about
you.
how you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Fabulous.
So yeah, your mother and your grandmother.
My mother?
His mother, your grandmother,
Father. Yeah.
your father and your grandmother. Sorry, I have to get my brain back to thinking mode, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's you're obviously working in a different language, aren't you?
No, it's not that. It's when we do mediumship, we 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 um we connect right here, and that it's an altered state of mind, as you might be aware, right? And then immediately switching back to becoming logical and normal is takes a while. It
Right.
takes some seconds, right? That's why I made this mistake. But now I'm coming down back again, back to
Thank
earth.
thank you. I appreciate your time, and your English is very, very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. So, Karen,
Yes.
thank you for coming.
Thank you for your time.
If you wish to give some feedback, you can. If you don't, and you don't have to, it's up to you. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Um, I think it was very accurate in places. It took me a little while to be able to understand which grandparent it was, but obviously you brought more evidence, so that I could obviously understand which grandparent the information was about. So a little bit longer for me to understand which one it was, but was good, very good, accurate. Thank
Good.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And what I wish, and now on a personal level, what I can add to that, these kind of offered support from the spirit world, these are not empty words.
Mhm.
This is not the support that you get from your auntie and from your neighbor. Oh, we're all with you, right, blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. They are really by your side physically, and they are really trying to emanate energy, healing, love, and whatever into your heart, into your consciousness.
Yes, I believe
Okay.
that.
And to make that more easy, to make that more um, uh, so it works better, it's good if you and everyone, like with everyone, is when everyone should be like that, but if you as well try to tune into that consciously when you feel to, you will get the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I feel that I can open my heart to my father and my mother and my grandmother and all that, right? And then that will help you and them to come together and to empower you more, right?
Yes.
And you can do that, of course, in the troublesome moments, but also in any other moment. It doesn't matter, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
great. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Have a great evening.
Take care. Good night.